What's up? Let's get started. It's 3:02, and if anybody pops in, they can just pick up where we left off. I'm gonna send this video out to you guys after, so don't feel like you have to take like copious amount of notes. But if you want to just note some of the important stuff that we're talking about today, I encourage you to do so because we do have a lot of information to get through today. So let me do this. Let me start by sharing my screen. And let's do this. And is my screen sharing yet? Wait for it. Uh-oh. Give me one sec. Is that sharing yet? You guys see my screen? Yep.
Yep.
Look at that. Camp 2024, y'all. It's 2 weeks away from tomorrow. You guys excited?
Yay.
Okay. It's so funny. Everybody's on mute. That's good. So here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to open us up in prayer. And then I'm going to launch into a bunch of information. And if you have any questions, just feel free to write them in the chat or unmute yourself and interrupt me, and we'll address that question on the spot. But feel free to ask anything and everything. I will try my best to answer the best I know how. Other than that, let me pray and we'll get started, okay? All right. Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for this summer. Thank you for all the incredible things that we've seen you do in the way that we've seen you work this summer so far. Lord, we are asking for your continued hand of blessing upon camp, Lord. All the thoughts, the dreams, the logistics, the movement, the extra pieces that we're adding, everything that goes into camp, Lord. We want to make sure that that your presence is at the forefront, Lord. We want to make sure that we're providing a space where students can encounter Christ. Lord, and we want to prepare our hearts and have an opportunity to love and to share the love of Jesus with students and point them towards you in all things, Lord. So I pray that even now you'd prepare our hearts, prepare the hearts of our students who've been eagerly waiting this entire summer for camp. We still have even students who are signing up, which is really cool to see. And we just ask again for your hand of blessing on this whole thing. Hear me pray. Amen. All right, so let's get started. I'm just going to jump straight into information mode. So again, if you have any questions or anything, write in the chat, or you can interrupt me. We'll get going. What's up? Okay, here we go. We're gonna get started. I wanted to share with you real quick with one of my buddies, Chris Dotson, who's spoken at a couple of our events. He most recently spoke at Collide Weekend this year. Spoke at camp a couple years ago, but he is like the next gen guy at South Tampa Fellowship, and he wrote a really compelling Instagram post of 10 things that he's noticed in his camp years of just being involved in student ministry and camp stuff. And he wrote these things, and I'm not going to share all 10 of them with you, but the first one is that the leaders in cabins matter more than the preacher in the pulpit. He says the reality is that for all the time that we spend planning what happens in the room and on the platform, kids spend 10 times more time outside the room with folks who will never step foot on the platform. This is in no way to diminish or minimize the role of preaching at student camp. Yes, preach messages that are biblical, bold, and engaging. Use illustrations that captivate the mind and attention of a 13-year-old who has no interest in listening to you talk, but who debriefs that sermon? Who sits in a cabin and directly applies that message to the hearts of our kids? Who challenges, rebukes, and loves, all while operating on 3 to 4 hours of sleep? It is your leaders. It's not your preachers, not your student pastors. And he says, I beg you, don't put a warm body in a gap where a spirit-filled leader should be. Stop making fun. Stop making fun, outgoing, in their 20s, your litmus test for a camp leader. Have the courage to recruit and develop men and women of God who will turn a week of camp into a transformative catalyst in teenagers' lives. And I just wanted to harp on this for just a second. We are so thankful, first of all, for you guys signing up and being a part of camp this year. And we want to let you know that none of this happens without you guys. And that, yes, we do spend a lot of time trying to figure out the arching themes of camp, how to tie everything in, how to make it engaging for students. But really, the people who do the most work at camp are our leaders. We're asking a lot of you to give up time, to give up your give up weeks of work, to call in your sick days or whatever you have for work, and to show up and, again, on little sleep, love students and do the dirty work, which it's not the dirty work, it's the redemptive work. And we're asking that you step into a space where students need to hear the gospel, need to be taught truth, and that will happen from the stage. But most practically, it's going to happen in the conversations that you guys have outside of the large group room. The conversations you're going to have at lunch, at dinner, at breakfast, walking to and from events, at rec. Really getting to know these students. They're going to open up, and they're going to tell you things. They're going to ask for advice on things, and it is our job and our responsibility and the honor, honestly, of us all to step in and point them towards Jesus in all things. So that's my prayer for you guys, is that you would understand your role and how much what you do matters. And hopefully this will prepare us all, including myself, Tom, and the student team, to make sure that our hearts are right, our minds are right walking in, and that we're walking in with the right motives, understanding how transformative this week will be for our students. And so it's encouraging. It's awesome. You're going to be carrying some burdens for the week as well. It's going to be exhausting and tiring, but you'll look back, I promise, at the end of this and be like, man, this was worth it. This was an awesome week, and I can't wait to do it in 2025. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So we're going to continue. He wrote a couple other things. Students will rise to the standard you call them to. He says, I'm guilty of falling into the equal and opposite errors of calling students to too low of a standard or apologizing for the higher standard I want them to live at. I'm no expert on Gen Z or Gen Alpha, but I can tell you this: they prefer directness to bashfulness. They prefer honesty to inconsistency. A standard isn't what you say, it's what you hold people accountable to. So what standards are you calling your students to? And that's the thing that we got to understand walking in as well, is we're setting the standard here at camp. One of the things that we love about this year at camp is we are going to start introducing some traditions and some rules, and even some just philosophical things about camp even this year that we're excited to call students to, and we want to see them respond. So the rules and the things that we're going to talk about, the schedules, the stuff that we have planned, this is all for a purpose. It's all bathed in prayer, and I hope that you guys can capture just how much time and how much effort has been put into dreaming about these things. The third is to give an invitation every day. We don't have to read that one, but we're going to be giving an invitation every day. The invitation might look a little bit different each night. It might be we might do a salvation invitation. We might be doing a call to ministry invitation. We might be doing a repentance invitation. But each day will have an invitation in and of itself. I didn't want to add that one, but it was on the same page, so it's already there. Number 7 thing that he said is you have to plan for how you will handle learning about an abusive situation back home. This is one of the things that we try to teach you as we onboard you into our student ministry and any of our ministry areas anyways, is to understand that our students are walking through a lot. And some things might come out at camp that might startle you, that might catch you by surprise. If you don't know how to handle a specific situation, please come talk to Tom, myself, Sean, or Jimmy, or one of the leaders at camp who are on staff, full-time staff members. And we will point you in the right direction on how to handle those things. We are absolutely mandatory reporters for any sexual abuse, physical abuse, any abuse that's happening in the home. So regardless of if you don't know whether or not the student's telling the truth on something, it's not really your job to do the investigation on that. We will report that, and we will do that on your behalf. You might be asked a couple questions, but for the most part, the process, you can remain anonymous as well. But we want to make sure that any abusive situation that's brought to light for us, that we are handling with extreme care and immediacy as well. So if you hear something from a student and they're talking about hurting themselves or suicidal thoughts or abuse in the home, sexual abuse that's happening in their life, pornography addictions, things of that nature, please get with the student director on whatever campus that student belongs to. If you don't know, just ask. and we will do a lot of the work on that to follow up with that person and to report. And we just need you to open your mouth and say something. All right. So I can go a little bit more in depth on the policies and procedures there, but we don't have to stay there for very long. A week at camp can't be everything to your ministry, but it will communicate everything about your ministry. So some students, ministries rely on camp for the entirety of their ministry. If we can just get to camp is a mentality that so many student pastors possess. He says, I get the temptation a lot of families will only give our student ministries 1 week out of the year, so it's understandable to put all of our eggs in one basket. But rather think of it as everything to your ministry. Shift the perspective to see it as the one thing that communicates everything about your ministry. And so here's what I want to challenge us with this week is this is the biggest event that we do every single year. Collide Weekend is a close second, but we are doing things every single week, every single month to minister to students. And I want camp, we want to see camp grow, not just numerically, but spiritually as well. We want the depth of what takes place at camp to be the thing that we're pushing towards more than the width of it. But we also understand that a lot of our students have friends who are unsaved. A lot of our students have a sphere of influence, or oikos that we use, the word that we use at Calvary. And what we're finding is that camp has become an event where it's our home, it's our family. Does that make sense? And we're not really inviting people on the outside or friends or anything to our camp event. And so we are asking students even this year to start thinking about what camp in 2025 even looks like for them and their friends, and reaching their friends and using it as a gospel tool to grab their friends and bring them along for the ride. So we're starting that conversation. We don't want camp to just be everything that we do, and we want it to be done with excellence, but we don't want it to be just the thing we do. So connecting them to the church outside of camp, connecting them to our student ministries outside of camp, connecting the serving outside of camp, connecting to missions and the visions of Calvary Church is something that we got to do this year at camp. And then the last one, I think this is the last one. Culture building is predetermined and recognized in the moment. Actually, this is the last one I want to go through. Plan, and then hold all of it with an open hand. Nice rhymes there. But camp is a logistical beast, and you're foolish to think if you don't need to plan and then replan every single detail. A lot of that is on us. And a lot of that we are doing. We're having to come up with a rainy day plan for literally every single day. Nancy, if you're still on here, you know what I'm talking about. But
Yes, yes.
right, you have plans that you think that you're going to walk into this week with, and the Lord could completely just turn it on its head. And so it's our job as leaders, your job as leaders, to be flexible with those plans, to not be disheartened by that, but also help us as a student team cast the vision if plans change. And we have to be able to walk in saying, hey, listen, we have this all set up and we're all ready to go and we're excited about this, but in a moment's notice, we could shift that. I look back to not this summer, but this past summer, my old church, Idlewild, they had an very extremely unfortunate event happen at their camp, at their high school camp, where a student fell very, very sick and ended up passing away at their camp. Talk about changing the plans of camp, like insanity, very unexpected. And it was just, it was such a hard time for their student ministry, for their directors, for their pastors, for everybody who was there, just feeling the emotional burden, the spiritual burden that's been placed on something. And I realized that even with our best plans, even with our greatest dreams that we feel like we're going to accomplish at camp, everything could change in a matter of seconds. And we got to be willing to say, okay, God, well, what are you going to do with this now? What are you going to do with this now? Because we know he's going to redeem the time. You know he's going to redeem the moment. So it's our job to walk in with an open heart and just be ready to be led by the Lord. Okay. So those are just the few things right off the bat. And now I'm going to go into a little bit more logistics of camp. Does anybody have any questions so far about anything we've talked about? Great. I'm crushing it so far, apparently. Here we go. All right. Lake Yale Camp and Conference Center. This is where we are doing camp this year. Here's the crazy part about this. So we've been doing, this will be the third year. This will be the third year that we have done our own camp as Calvary students. What we did before then was when I first came on staff, we would go to a prepackaged camp like a Generate Camp or YM360, Student Life Camp, something that we could take students to and just be a part of, which was good for a while, but we realized that it had its own limitations with it. Our numbers were capped, and really we took 2 years off because of COVID. And we came back. Tom came in about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and really kind of we put our heads together and thought about what would be the best camp experience for our kids. And we thought that doing everything from A to Z would give us control over the camp, would give us unlimited capacity as far as numbers, would give us the ability to vision cast and dream for what we want camp to be. It would give us a chance to control the things that we thought were necessary for us to be able to best reach our students with the gospel. And so 2 years ago, we started at Camp Kalakwa, and then we did Camp Kalakwa again. Did we do 3 years at Camp Kalakwa, Madison, or was it two? Just two? And then last year, Camp Kalakwa gave away our spot this year for camp. So we were trying to scramble this past year and like, okay, what do we do now? And we settled on Lake Yale Camp and Conference Center. It's about 2 hours away, 2.5 hours away from Calvary, from the Clearwater campus. So the plan is to, on that Monday of camp, July 29th, to meet at the Clearwater campus, and we will start registration in the lobby. I'm going to go over the schedule in just a few minutes, so you guys will have access to that. But really, Lake Yale, we've had some staff members who've done some events there in the past. Even Cheryl Rice, when she was growing up, went to Lake Yale Camp and Conference Center, but don't believe me, it's updated since then. But they have some really great facilities that we're very, very excited about. So this is like kind of an outward picture of Lake Yale. This is the actual lake. There are large gators in the lake, so just be careful going near the lake. I'm just kidding. They take them all out. No, I'm just kidding. There's actually gators.
That's
Be careful. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. They have people that watch for that. It's okay.
I've never seen an alligator there in my 3 visits I have made there.
Well, that's great. That's because they remove them all. See, I told you they're doing a really good job at taking care of that space. I wasn't trying to scare anybody, but if you go on Lake Tarpon, they got gators in there too. So here we are. And there's sharks in the ocean as well. So anyway, this is a kind of an overview of the camp. And I don't know why I just downloaded this from the internet. So I don't know why there are giant red circles over these things, but here's what you're going to have to know. So the entrance is down here where my cursor is, if you can see that. We will be occupying, so this part of this little canal is South Camp. Everything over here is North Camp. This is where we will be occupying basically the entire time. We have 260-ish students signed up for camp right now. We have approximately 60 to 70 adult leaders signed up, and anywhere from 60 to 100 adults from Calvary will be on campus on any given day. I know Pastor Willie's going to be there for a little bit. I know that our campus pastors will be there for a little bit. They're actually hosting a really important meeting on the premises, so that's really cool to have them there and a part of that. But here's what where we will be occupying most of our time is around in this area. This right here, the McGuire Auditorium. Can you guys see my cursor just doing little circles right here? Okay.
Yep.
I don't know if that was showing up. The McGuire Auditorium is where our worship will be taking place. Now, this isn't going to matter to you till you actually see it, but this is a very, very large building. And then there are 2 wings that come off of it, North Wing and South Wing. And in those wings, we will house our family group discussion. So during the time that, I'll go over schedule in just a little bit, but we'll do an evening session. And then after the evening session, you'll be paired with at least another adult leader, if not 2 or 3. But you'll have a group of students that will go to a specific room that you have for yourself. And in those rooms, there are chairs, there's a whiteboard, there's some tables. We can configure that any way that we want to. We can communicate with the camp to say, hey, we want them in a circle, we want them in rows, we want whatever. But you will have access to doing this. And it's basically like a teaching classroom. And we want that to be your home for your family group for the week. So anytime we do sessions, after sessions, and we go to family group discussion, which I have sent out the curriculum. Hopefully you guys have got that and looked over it a little bit. But those family group discussions will take place in the north and the south wing. We'll have those assigned for you, a room number where you can go. Also, one of those room numbers is going to be one of those rooms in the north wing, I believe, on this side is going to be our merch shop. So you'll see our merch shop over there when you get there. And in the front of the McGuire Auditorium, because it's very large, we're going to have a sectioned off place for our adult leaders as well. It'll have a fridge, it'll have snacks, it'll have just everything you need for a break. It'll have a coffee machine, so you can congregate there throughout the day. It's just our way of saying, hey, thanks for being here. How can we best take care of you while you're here? And so that will be your one-stop shop for that. If you walk a little bit this way, there's a place called the Magnolia Dining Hall. I'll show you guys pictures of all these in just a few minutes, but
The food is really, really good.
yeah, there you go, Nancy. Thank you for that. The Magnolia Dining Hall is right here. This is where we're going to be eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. So you'll see that in just a few minutes in the pictures. The Maple Fellowship Center right here is just there's a camp shop here. So for Lake Yale, they sell apparently some of the greatest Italian ices known to man there. But this is a snack shop. So this is where our kids will be spending all of their parents' money on snack foods and things like that, buying Mountain Dews and whatnot. But also there's a really, really cool multi-purpose room in here with like some couches and stuff. It's a super awesome just hangout spot with some ping pong tables in there. It is really, really cool. And I think I have pictures of it, which I'll show you in a little bit. These right here, willow, dogwood, evergreen, cypress, and this office building. These are hotel style rooms. So usually 2 beds in a room, and sometimes you'll have a cot in one of them. These are very selective of who we've put in here as far as students, because we were trying to give our seniors and juniors first access and priority to those things. Number one, for maturity reasons, even though we know some very immature seniors and juniors, we're still trying to give them priority and make them feel like, hey, you've been here for 7, 8 years almost, or 6, 7 years almost. And so we want to bless you with like the nicer rooms, if you will. The rest of us will be over here in these bunkhouses, which I will get to in just a little bit. Now you probably hear bunkhouse and you're like, uh-oh, what did I sign up for here? But I'll get to that in just a second. There is the ropes course here. There's a bunch of just stuff. So I don't know if you can look up here and over here. These will be our rec fields right here, and over here. And then there's paintball over here. There's just a bunch of stuff to do at this camp. And I'll go through the stuff in just a second. I think next does anybody have any questions about the maps? Great, self-explanatory, they're maps. All right, these are the bunkhouses, okay? And I know you have questions about what these look like. So they're literally bunkhouses. That's exactly what they are, bunkhouses. This is like old school style camp. This is what I used to go to when I would go to student camp when I was growing up. They all have air conditioning, so don't worry. Some of them are even being redone, and they look really, really nice. Looks like Chip and Joanna Gaines came in and redid them. But these were taken like months and months ago, so just stand with me if you got that. But there's bunks in here, and what will happen is the students will stay on this side. They'll grab a bunk. It'll be their space. They'll put their suitcases on the ground by their bunk, and they have their own specific bathroom for the bunk. Also in this bunkhouse, they will have a space where there are 2 beds for a leader room. It is a room that is on the front end of the bunkhouse, so you can't really see it from here. But if you can imagine where my cursor is, there's a wall right here, and there's a room there with 2 beds for our leaders. There's a small window that you can monitor everything that's happening through in the bunkhouse just to make sure you got eyes on everything. And then there's also a bathroom for the leaders only in that space as well. On the other side, it's symmetrical and it looks the exact same. So again, student bathrooms will be all over on the bunkhouse side over here. And then your bathrooms as leaders, if you're staying in a bunkhouse, you'll have your own bed rooming with another leader. Bring a sound machine if somebody snores. And you'll have your own bathroom down in this area as well. Okay, I just didn't get the picture of that side. Does that make sense so far? So these are what our bunkhouses look like. This is the McGuire. This is like the I don't know how to describe it. This is the the snack shop, merch shop area for the camp. So this is Lake Gales. This is on the part of the McGuire, not the McGuire. What's it called? Help me out, Nancy. Do you remember? It is the Maple Fellowship. Bingo. This is a half of the Maple Fellowship, and I don't. This is the other half of the Maple Fellowship. So
It's a great room. It's a lot of fun.
really cool area. We can even put a fire in here if we want to, if it gets really, really cold. But we got the ping pong tables, the sofas, just a good place to chat. If you want to grab some students and be like, hey, let's go hang out in the AC for a little bit and eat some icy. This is the perfect time to do it. If you want to play a board game, boom, that's a perfect place and area to do it. So again, this is one side of that, and this is the other side of that. These are the hotel style rooms like that I was talking about earlier. Lauren, the cleaner, left her stuff in here as I was taking this picture. But they have their own bathroom as well. It is, again, just like a hotel style room. And some of our leaders have those accommodations. Some have the bunkhouse. If you're in a bunkhouse this year, I promise you'll get the better accommodations next year if you want those. All right. There's a hammock village there. It's just kind of cute. It's a fun little space for our students to hang out. There's spots like this all over. There's disc golf there, giant fields open for playing. This is is there any, like, this is the quintessential cafeteria for camp, in my opinion. You got the colored chairs, you got the tables all set up in rows, you got the serving area right here where the salad bar is, you got the buffet style serving over here, which is super fun. But this is the cafeteria area. And again, not to go into great detail, but this is obviously where we'll do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is a very special dining area within the cafeteria that we only have access to. And I'm excited to explain to you about what this is in just a few minutes. So I'll get there in just a little bit, but this is a really cool dining area that we have. By the way, every morning during breakfast, our adult leaders are going to congregate in here, with the exception of 4 or 5 that we're going to leave in the other room. Sorry, but we'll rotate on a rotational basis. But this is where we'll do our morning meetings for camp. So we'll talk about how life is going. If you heard any stories of the week, we'll have Stephen, our camp speaker, in here kind of talking about where he's going for the night. So you'll get a glimpse into what God's doing around camp. Some time of we'll have some time to pray, and we'll hang out. We'll eat together for breakfast in the morning. This is the worship center. It is massive. It's a very substantial worship center. Our tech and production team, who's right there already thinking and dreaming about what they're doing, they are going to be taking this place over and setting it up for us in just an awesome way. So these tables will be gone. These chairs will be there. But a lot of it is going to have, there's going to be a walkway of pipe and drape here. And we're going to have it sectioned off so that up front you'll have everybody kind of piled in there. And then your leader room and area will kind of be over on this side over here, if you will, where nobody else will have access to it except for our adult leaders. Does that make sense? So I'm really excited about what's about to happen in this room for the week. It's a really cool, the vaulted ceilings. It's just like so old school camp vibe thing for me, and I love it. And then these are the breakout rooms that I was talking about. So family discussion groups will take place in rooms that look like this. You're going to need direction when you get there, and we'll give all that information to you as we have that information coming in. Hang on. Did I get a chat? Death for tea. Okay, sorry. Yeah. And so, wait, hold on. Did I get one? Matt, so should I bring there? Yes. Okay, sorry. But this is where the breakout rooms will happen. Again, very excited about what's going to happen in this space as well, because this is where you're going to start talking about the application. You're going to ask students specific questions, and it's going to maybe unearth some things and some thoughts and feelings in their heart. We're praying for the Holy Spirit to just move in an incredible way here in these places, obviously, to bring to light some things in the lives of students that they need to deal with, wrestle with, and hang on, we will be able to set up those. Yes, and we'll be able to set up. We have actually access to set up these rooms any way that we want them to. So if you want a circle, holler at us. We'll get you a circle. If you want rows, if you want a pyramid or a diamond shape, a hexagon, whatever you want, we got you. So again, these are just the accommodations. This is the place. So does anybody have any questions about what anything that we just talked about in this section as far as pictures of camp, places, maps, things of that nature? Again, we're going to go over schedule in just a little bit. We're going to go over theme in just a little bit, but does anybody have any questions? Sweet. Love that. All right. Does anybody know what our camp theme is this year?
Undivided.
Yeah. Is that Tom Cooney?
That is Tom Cooney.
Wait, but I'm Tom Cooney on this call. So how are you also Tom Cooney? I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Technology crazy.
This is our theme for the year, undivided. And obviously the tagline is loving God with all your heart. This is what we're preaching and teaching. This is the theme with students. And I think just going back to Collide weekend, when we had Tom will remember this, but we had a conversation with our Collide speaker who ended up not coming because he was super sick. But we had a conversation with our Collide speaker, and he was like, tell me about where your students are at. Tell me about what they're struggling with. Tell me about what's going on in their lives. And I think one of the themes that we came up with was just they have a divided heart. They have a divided attention. They have a divided passions. And just there are so many things that are pulling for and vying for the attention of our students' lives that we want to really focus this year at camp about talking about what it looks like to be like sold out for Christ. In a world where, you can just dip your foot into every little thing, your toe into, every little venue of life. I don't really like that. I don't really like that. And you can try so many different things so instantaneously. What does it mean to actually follow Christ and love him with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength? And so we're talking, and we have if you've looked at the curriculum, we have an arc, if you will, to start in one place where we're talking about what an undivided heart looks like, and then how to address an undivided heart, and how to have an undivided heart, or sorry, what a divided heart looks like, and how to get to an undivided heart. So we're really excited about that. And for you guys, this is kind of just a session overview for you. In session one, it will be this. It'll be to help students understand that there can only be one object of their heart's affection, God or the world. So we're starting off really just challenging with our students about where their love lies. Session two will be to help students discover the key to how they live as people who love God and not the world. So the practical how to, here are the things that we do. Here's what Christian living looks like. Here's what an undivided heart looks like. And here's how you live that out in your life. Session three is to help students consider the big picture view of someone who is undivided in their love of God. Again, just hitting on that theme of being undivided and separate from the Lord. And then session four is to help encourage and motivate students by reminding them that the Holy Spirit is a source of their strength and their power when it comes to living an undivided life. So understanding that you're not living this life on your own. The Christian life is never to be meant on your own. And by the way, this is going to lead us into our fall studies on Wednesday nights, where we're going to kick off with a series that's about our tagline, united in heart and mind, and talking about how living the Christian life, you don't have to do it by yourself, about how we are a family, but we are united in what we think and what we believe in the motivations of our heart. So this is going to lead perfectly into where we're going at the beginning of this fall semester. So I'm really excited about the theme this year and where we're headed. Does anybody have any questions about the theme or anything that you've gotten in your leader curriculum, your small group curriculum, that you're just like, I may have a question about this. How do we use this? How do we work this? Sweet. All right, well, let's move on. Here is the schedule. I'll send this out to you guys probably tomorrow. But here's the schedule. And Tom, if you're reading this and you're like, there's something wrong here, we can figure. I just made this earlier today. I tried to put in our thoughts into an actual graphic. But here's what it's going to look like. Monday, the 29th of July, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow. Yay. At 11:30 a.m. at the Clearwater campus, going through the south entrance with the sails. You will walk in and you will check in. We're going to ask you to be there well before 11:30 because we need to have as many people on hand to help move orientation along as best as possible.
Matt, check-in will start at 10:30, actually.
There you go. Check-in will start at 10:30. I was going to probably say 10:30 because so we're on the same wavelength. That's great. So 10:30 a.m. we're asking you to be there. It would be really great to be there as close to on time as possible. If you got kids that are going to camp, bring them with you. That's fine. They can do it. We can work with that. But 10:30 a.m. would love to just huddle with you guys as well and pray and talk about the week and just some final details before we have like little to no time to talk. So from 11:30 to 1, it says check-in. That's a broad window, but in that time, students will check in, they'll drop their luggage off, and we are actually doing lunch at the Clearwater campus before we depart. It's just too hard to stop along the way with all the 7 buses that we got going. How many buses we got going?
7.
7 buses. And these are the air conditioning buses, guys. So we're doing it right. It's not the Astro Escape buses. So we're gonna be serving a Chick-fil-A box lunch for our students before we roll out. So they'll get some of the Lord's chicken, and then they'll hop on a bus. And we are doing buses by team. So we will have that all written out, spelled out for our students. We'll have different spaces in the lobby where they can put their luggage. That way that they know where it is, and those luggage pieces will then go on the bus with their team color. So whatever team color they have, they're getting on that bus, I believe. Am I correct on that, Tom?
Yeah, I don't know if it'll and here, yes, for the most part, you're correct. Logistically speaking, practically each team may or may not have more than what one bus capacity may be. So we may kind of split it around just to kind of make sure that we've got equal balance on the buses as far as the number of human beings, instead of trying to pack them in. But yes, for the most part, you are as accurate as you possibly can be.
Yes. There you go. So yeah, and just be again, realize that we do have a plan and plans could change. So we will all get to camp at the same, closest to the same time, and we will all do everything together the best we can. 1:00 p.m. we will depart for Lake Yale. We'll arrive at Lake Yale close to 3-ish, probably a little bit later than that, 3:30-ish, whatever. Whenever time we get there is when we'll start the back half of the day, if that makes any sense. So these times are subject to movement depending on if we have any issues with buses, which always seems to happen. So just be on the lookout for those updates and those things. We will start with an orientation. So they'll pull all their luggage into the McGuire Center, if I believe this is correct. They'll pull their stuff into the McGuire Center so that it's not out in the rain in case it's raining, but we will do an orientation session there. This is a chance for me and Tom and the rest of the student team to do rules, talk about expectations, to welcome students to camp, build some excitement. They finally made it. So your attitude when we pull up is super, super, super important. Your excitement is super important. The kids are going to feed off of you. This is your chance to let your inner child out. And if you're like, man, I'm an introvert and I don't really like doing that kind of stuff, just let it loose. However awkward it is, we welcome it and we want you to do that the best as possible. So go nuts, scream, yell, get up in somebody's face. They're gonna think you're awkward, but by the end of the week, you'll be their best friend, I promise. So we'll do orientation, and then we'll break and we'll let them go to their accommodations, drop off their luggage before dinner at 5:15 to 6 o'clock. That night, we will do our session 1. So this is our large group session in the McGuire Center from 6:30 to 8. And that's going to be a lot of worship, a lot of teaching. And then post that, we will go into family group session 1, which will happen in those breakout rooms that I showed you guys earlier. Going over here to Tuesday through Thursday, we have this is our normal schedule. This is the meat of the week here, because it's not these are not travel days. So 7:15 will be breakfast. I know that's early, but we're going to try to get our students up and moving. Some of these kids wake up earlier than that for school, And, you can just tell them that you're just getting them ready for what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. I'm sure they'll love you for that. But 7:15 a.m. breakfast in the cafeteria, and then post that at 8 o'clock to 8:30, loose on the 8:30, because we want to start wake up by 8:30. So probably closer to 8 to 8:20 is quiet time. Each day inside of their camper booklet, which they will get, they will have a quiet time reading that they can do. It's basically a passage of scripture for the evening session, and they will be walking through sword method of what does it say about God? What does it say about man? Is there a sin to confess? Is there a command to obey? And they're going to be walking through that themselves in a quiet place. Now, they don't have to be by themselves. If you want to grab 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 10, however many you want of your group, and say, hey, you know what? Tomorrow morning, we're going to go out by the dock and we're going to do family quiet time. We're just going to hang out right out there. We'd love to have you there. And you guys could do that together. It'd be a really great touch point for you as a leader, in my opinion, to build that relational equity with your kids. But it doesn't have to look like that. But we are asking all students to be involved, all adults to be involved in that family quiet time in the morning time from 8 to 8.
And that will happen outside, just to clarify.
Yeah. It will not happen inside anywhere.
That won't happen in those rooms?
No.
No. And okay, got it.
Yeah, it should be nice-ish enough in the morning to be able to get out there and do it. It might feel like soup, but we will endure. Then we're doing our wake up session in the morning, which is our morning worship session. It is a brief of like a very abbreviated thing of what we would do in the evening. And even this year, I think we're going more away from a traditional church service style thing to more of a high energy, like we got to get you awake, alive for the day sort of thing. So there's going to be opportunities to earn points. There's going to be opportunities for games. There's going to be themes, which we'll talk about in just a second. But really, it's going to be our time for a wake up in the morning. And then right after wake up, this is really important. We'll talk about the transitions closer to the time and what those look like and how you can help with those best. But 9:45 to 11:15 is our first rec and pool time. So something that's different about this camp than camps previous is just the amount of amenities. There are still great amenities, but oh my gosh, is that your dog? I'm so sorry. I'm distracted by this dog in Tiffany's video right now. So cute. That's okay. No, it's okay. I love dogs. They're everything. So this will be our first session with the pool. There's an Olympic-sized pool there, so we'll have some fun in the heat. That'll be our cool off point. And during the pool sessions, we're also going to have some other water stuff going on. I think one day we're doing some water inflatables. One day we're doing some slip and slide kickball, stuff like that, where there will be water games and things to enjoy during that pool time. Also, at the same time, while that's happening for middle school, high school will be out at the rec fields. So one of the things we're changing this year is not doing rec all together with 250 people, because you can't do it. And plus you have a 12th grader going up against a 6th grader, and it's not okay. So we're going to have middle school compete with middle school, high school compete with high school, but they will all be part of the same teams, right? So middle school could have the orange team win rec here, and they could have the blue, and the high school could have the blue team win rec for their thing, and the orange team for high school gets the first place points for this and that, and so on and so forth. So you have like basically a double chance to earn points for the day if you're doing well at rec. So we're excited about that, and we're just trying to provide some space for our high schoolers and our middle schoolers to get away from each other, because we do a lot of things together throughout the year, and I think this is a good chance for us to be able to do that. So after that first session, we'll head to lunch. We'll give some time in between those that for them to go dry off, get ready for rec, get ready for the next thing, get ready for lunch. We'll head to lunch. Lunch is in the same place that breakfast was. We will and then right after lunch, we will go into our rec for whoever was at pool, and then pool for whoever was at rec, and we'll flip-flop those days. If there's rain or something, we'll have to really, just be careful with what that looks like. And we have some indoor rainy day stuff planned. And then post that time, we're going to our amenities and free time. So right here. So we have a lot of amenities at the camp. There's, like I said, there's paintball, there's a ropes course, there's disc golf, there's kayaking, canoeing. We've had students signing up for these for the past like 4 or 5 weeks. And so we are building out what that schedule looks like for everybody who's not signed up to do those things because they were an extra cost. We will have a lot of tournaments going on during that time. We have a lot of free time options going on during that time, chances to earn points, basketball tournaments, pickleball tournaments, things like that, like all the stuff that's going on during free time, spike ball tournaments, just lounge time to go hang out at the hammock center. We'll have time to go to to that place with the ping pong tables and the couches and just chill for a little bit. Time to go to the snack shop and stuff like that. So it'll be just an amenities / free time for that. And there's 2 hours for that, but really it's going to be a little bit less than that because with all the moving pieces that we have going on through the day, it's just not going to allow us. We will eat into this time. This will be the first thing that we diminish time on, if that makes any sense. If we get behind or we have to make adjustments, this will be the first thing that we adjust.
Can I speak into that real fast, Matt? Just
Yeah.
just so everybody knows, we have closed the amenity registrations because we have to give final numbers. So if you get asked or if anybody's like, "Hey, I'm trying to sign my kid up for an amenity," I'm sorry, it is officially closed and it is locked, and there's not really any margin of wiggle room there.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that, but again, it's one of those things we got to turn numbers in, and we just got to be diligent in signing up when we got a chance to sign up for those things. So I apologize for that if that is you in that category, but it's something we got to do. So, and then our hard targets, like the things that we cannot change, are breakfast, lunch, and dinner for sure. Those have to stay in the same spots because kitchen staff and things like that. So, 5:15 to 6 will be dinner. 6:30 to 8 o'clock will be our sessions 2, 3, and 4. That is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then after that, 8 o'clock to 9:15 is our family group time. That should actually be 2, 3, and 4. I should mirror that. I apologize, I wrote that wrong. So this will be our Thursday, Tuesday through Thursday, and then Friday is Tom, I don't, we were talking about some of this stuff. We're still working on some of these details. Tentative, like very, very penciled tentative schedule for Friday is we know we're departing. We know we have lunch here. And we know that we have some stuff on the front end here, but we're still working on kind of what that looks like as well. So that is our schedule. With the addition, there's a couple things that are going on that you need to know. Tuesday night will be late night for middle school. So after these are done, family groups are done, we will be doing a late night for middle school. Wednesday will be late night for high school only, again, just to create that separation to where they can have fun in a venue together without middle schoolers running around, without high schoolers running around. And then Thursday night all together, we are doing a bonfire out at worship. And not that you need to know, but since I have the map here, the bonfire will be right out here, I believe. And so, yeah, bonfire in August should be great.
Matt,
Yes,
can I just add something real fast about the bonfire?
yes,
You will want to make sure you bring bug spray.
yep. You're gonna want to bring bug spray, not for just the fire night, but just for general usage. You're gonna want bug spray and sunscreen for sure. Okay, come back to this.
And we will have some supplies for that.
Yeah.
What's the late night plan?
Late night plan. So we thought it would be fun since the Olympics are happening at the exact same time, we're going to be doing an Olympic theme for late nights. So it'll be a competition night, but it's going to be really fun stuff. Like we'll do a ribbon dancing one, like a rhythmic gymnastics sort of thing, on stage to a song of their choice. It'll be a lot of fun. We're going to like a lot of pageantry going into it, but it's going to be Olympic theme for those things. So they'll get some chances to earn some points for that, but it'll be also leaning heavily into the Olympics. So it's gonna be a really fun time.
Where?
Yeah,
Where are we gonna do it?
that will happen indoors in the auditorium that we do for worship and sessions. Okay. So does anybody have any questions about the schedule?
If I could chime in on one thing real quick, back on Monday.
Yeah.
This is something that we just learned. I just learned. As a matter of fact, I haven't even mentioned this to Matt yet, but For those of us adult leaders who are going to be driving to the church to get on the buses and do all that stuff, they're going to be restriping the entire Clearwater campus between July 23rd and August 2nd. And so obviously that encompasses our entire week of camp. So what they have asked us to do is that new, and I'm going to label it or call it the horseshoe parking that is just to the south of Cafe 122. It's a relatively new space. If you're familiar with Clearwater, that should make sense to you. We'll try and put a map of the parking lot in an email. If we park there, we should be far enough away from any of the restriping. And I'm not too terribly worried about them actually striping, but the spray, the off spray that comes from that, I don't want that to get in anybody's cars. And obviously with us being gone, we won't be able to move it. So they are asking us to be very specific and strategic in where we park. So when you come on that Monday, just plan on knowing that you're going to need to park your stuff in a very, or you park your car in a very specific area. And the good thing is that area has a sidewalk, which will take you right to Cafe 122. So it's super amazing and wonderful and all the stuff that comes with that. So, but just wanted to make sure that I said that in this meeting at once.
I had heard that and I didn't know the ruling on that. So thank you for telling me.
Yep.
And us, because that pertains to me too. All right. I had mentioned, does anybody have any other questions about the schedule? Chat, where are we at? That's Tom. Okay. Are we able to drive our own vehicles from Clearwater to camp? That's a good question, Tom. We got a question in the chat. Are we able to drive our own vehicles from Clearwater to camp? We're really not trying to be able to allow that for a lot of people, just because we do need help on buses. I mean, camp really starts when you get on the bus, and we need as much help there as possible. But I guess we're willing to have conversations about what that can look like, if you need to, if like there's an absolute dire need to. And one of the things that I ran into at my last camp when we opened this up for people to drive their own cars at my old church is we'd have 45 cars show up with leaders, and they would just they wanted the freedom to be able to leave camp and go and get Wendy's or McDonald's because those are the only things in the area. That will not be something that we are encouraging you to do if you're bringing your own vehicle. Leaving camp is not a huge option unless there are extenuating circumstances that we have a conversation with you about. Not trying to be rude on that, guys. I just hear my heart on it. Like we just need you available if when the time comes. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and they don't have enough space for everybody to drive.
Right.
And we'll need to know for security purposes, all that stuff on the front end. So it's just easier if everybody just rides the buses.
Yeah, good word. Good word. Again, reach out if there's something that you need to talk to us about, but just know, okay? Like I said earlier, this is one of those years where we're trying to develop in some camp traditions. I think that this is the year where we will lock into some of the things that our students will look forward to for years to come. Some really, really exciting things that we got on the horizon. And so this is our theme days and our extras. Every day at camp, there's going to be a theme day. So we encourage you to dress up VBS style, if you will. And we're going to give away point prizes and maybe I haven't talked to Tom about this, but maybe some extra prizes just to get people into the mood of dressing up for stuff. But as you arrive on Monday is America Monday. We always have to do a good, U.S. spirited day for camp, and there's no better day to do it than America Monday. So if you want to show up dressed up in your America themed stuff, I will be wearing America themed stuff, maybe an American flag suit. Who knows? When you guys show up to camp, you'll see me there. But America Monday, Team Spirit Tuesday, and this is like professional sports teams or college sports teams or whatever. Wear your favorite jersey, dress up as your favorite athlete, so on and so forth. For that day. Christmas in July is Wednesday. That's probably going to be my favorite day, maybe Tom's favorite day, for reasons you'll find out at camp. But Christmas in July is going to be happening. So ugly Christmas sweaters, elf hats, things of that nature. It's going to be super fun. Throwback Thursday is 80s, 90s, and 2000s wear. So if you got an 80s outfit, 90s outfit, or early 2000s, you can feel free to dress to impress. It's gonna be great. But those are our theme days. And I'm gonna skip down over here to traditions. At Wake Up, there it's gonna be so wake up session will be an element of the theme day. So what we're going to do is each morning at wake up, excluding Monday, because Monday is going to be our orientation day. But Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, absolutely. And a little bit Monday, we're going to be theming out our wake up sessions with the theme of the day. So it's going to be super, super fun. You're going to walk in and the room's going to be a little bit transformed. It's going to feel like Christmas on Wednesday. You're gonna be like, wait, where in the world is Santa? And he might show up, who knows? So that's gonna be something super fun for our students to lean into. One of my favorite things that we're doing this year is called fine dining. Do you remember this place that I showed you at the dining hall, this room right here, that I told you that we're gonna be meeting in each day as leaders? Well, in the evening during dinner, this place is going to turn into the fine dining establishment. It'll be themed out a little bit to our theme of the day, but really what's going to happen is the team that's in first place for the day is going to get access to the VIP fine dining area at night. So nobody else gets to come in here except for the first place team for the day. So this is going to give our students just an extra incentive to compete hard for camp and try to win, because in this room, there's going to be a lot of different extras that go into our theme. So I don't want to ruin anything, but there might be some special visitors that show up in here with some presents for our students, who knows? And each night there's going to be an ice cream sundae bar in this, exclusive access for our fine dining recipients only. And what I'd really love is I'd love to build this out. Don't know if we can do it this year, but I would love to have a rotation of adult leaders who are in this area serving our students for the night for fine dining, as in like grabbing them drinks, bringing them extra food, taking their trash away for them. We want this to be an experience that they're like, man, I really want to fight for fine dining tonight because I'm dying for it. So this is something that we're really, really excited about, fine dining. And it would be really cool. I mean, obviously we can't get there, but if we could wear tuxedos one day to serve our students, that would be sick. But it's just way too expensive and too short notice at this point. So like I said, each late night will be an Olympic theme. This year, rec will be split middle school and high school. We already talked about that. So will pool time. Bonfire worship on Thursday night is something that I'm really looking forward to. Thursday morning, we're doing a camp 5K. So before all you runners out there, if you get excited about this. So before breakfast, we're going to host a 5K race. And so teams will get points for however many students they have show up. If you win for an age division, middle school guy, middle school girl, high school guy, high school girl, if you win, come in the top 5, you get mega points for your team. If you dress up in the theme for the day, which is Throwback Thursday, and run it in your theme outfit, you get points for that as well. So we're excited about our Camp 5K, just to add a little pizzazz to the week. And then really, I think Tom and I, like, our favorite thing that we're going to be doing this year is this senior send-off. And I don't know if I want to get super in depth with what this is going to be, but this is going to be just a really, really, really special moment for all of our seniors. Like really, really special. We want to kind of encourage them and do like a rite of passage for them as they head off from high school into college. And so we have some really special stuff planned for them that night. So everybody else on Thursday night after the bonfire, we'll head back to their rooms, and our seniors will stay for the senior send-off, which I'm really excited about. But please don't tell them that we're doing anything for seniors. Please, if you know any seniors, don't say a single word.
Glad you said that. Not to tell. I won't. Will I
Okay.
get to come? Because will I get to see it?
You will have a part in it.
Okay, cool.
Possibly.
Perfect.
Possibly in the physical, but we are, yeah. I don't
We'll
Glad
have
you're
a
doing
side
that for
conversation.
them.
Yeah, we'll have a sidebar conversation because I forgot you got a senior. But yeah, we'll
Right on.
who else has a senior? Anybody? Okay. We'll have a conversation about it, but yeah, we're really excited for that. So in a nutshell, that is camp. We will send out if you want a packing list, honestly, just go to calvary.us/students and click on our camp thing and just pack what the students pack. You don't need to get any more special than that. Dress up for theme days. Tom, do we have a plan for color teams for adult leaders? I wasn't sure where we left off with that. Are you still in?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. I
Yes,
think
because I want to go to fine dining.
yeah, I hear you on that one. And so here there are two things. One with the adult leaders on team colors. My thought is, and I had a conversation with an adult leader, and here's what I told her, and she actually kind of liked the idea. If we don't assign our leaders to be on a specific team, there are 6 colors. There's red, blue, green, yellow, orange, and pink. What I would encourage you to do is, like, if you have some clothes that are in that, like each day you'll be able to dress up as a different team and be able to cheer them on and encourage them and be a part of that and that sort of thing there. And it gives you the ability to kind of float around and be able to be intentional with your relationships across the board with everybody. So that's the first thought there. As far as the adult leader being part of the fine dining experience and all that kind of stuff, I think there's definitely going to be an element that we will need to work on a rotation to serve in the fine dining area, and be able to love on those students. And because we really are trying to elevate team competitions. And one way you elevate team competitions is let them have some prizes and some actual personally realized value in the outcome of that, as opposed to team colors and team points, because some kids just really don't care about that. But hey, if you can get in there and you can have an ice cream social on Wednesday night after dinner, I mean, because it's 9 million degrees outside and you can have some ice cream and nobody else can, like, that's a win. So I would be comfortable in saying this. I would say, as far as team colors, I would love to tell our adult leaders, hey, this is a chance for you to be a free agent. You can kind of float around. And then as far as the fine dining, maybe we can come up with a schedule on that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night, and we can kind of divide and conquer, and allow our adult leaders an opportunity to go in there and kind of lean into that and serve our students and love on them well and that sort of thing there.
Yeah.
Does that sound fair and understandable?
Jincy, did you have a question?
Oh, let me unmute. Hi.
Hey.
I did have a question. Hey, so my children and I were discussing, the dressing up for theme days along with their team colors. So is team color to be worn during rec times?
Yes.
And then during the day they're dressed up? Okay, just making sure.
Well, I would
Okay.
do theme in the morning, because at wake up is really when we're going to be leaning heavily into the theme of the morning or of the day.
Right. Okay.
Post that, when they have a chance after wake up to go back to their rooms and change for the day, they're going to be getting into their rec
Got it.
/ pool stuff. And so from that point on, it's usually just what you wear. Some people like to dress up for evening worship, like I don't know, jeans and a t-shirt. I don't know. Some people wear dress. I don't know if you want to do that or not, but you're more than welcome to. But yeah, so the theme will probably work its way up until that time where we break for rec. That make sense?
Okay. Yep. Perfect. Thank you.
Great. Also, just so you guys know, we're trying to limit your input and your impact on rec as well. So in the past, we've had it to where you've been adult leaders and rec leaders as well. We have students who are going to be rec leaders this year. So there are 2 per team who are going to be there for rec and rallying their team and giving them instructions for stuff. We want you there to help and facilitate those things and hang out with your students and encourage them and do all those things. But we will also have a rec team and rec leaders, spirit leaders, to be able to help lead those venues as well. Does that make sense?
And yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
I'll just say this too, just to clarify. When we talk about like small group leaders, we'll probably use the language family group leader. That is a different job hat, if you will, that you'll be wearing during camp. And then as a small group leader or a family group leader, as a adult leader, kind of walking around camp and that kind of thing and engaging them throughout the day, you'll be doing different things. You won't necessarily stay with your family group during the day. The only time you'll have family group time is at nighttime. So if that makes sense, that would be kind of what that looks like there. So I hope that answered the question, and whoever sent it to me, I didn't catch who it was.
Oh, we missed slides. Oh yeah, you got it. Yeah, I can email you guys this tomorrow. I'll put this on a YouTube link and I'll send it out to all leaders, especially ones who could not be a part of here today. Does anybody have any questions? Like, this is the time. Ask away, fire away while we're here.
Hey, this is Steve Murphy. I got a question on kind of Tom, to your point about where we'll be assigned. Is there a chance that, like, if we're with high schoolers as far as family groups, that we'd also be with high schoolers for just the room assignments, or is it just wherever you need us?
Nicole probably can speak into this since she's kind of carried a yeoman share on that with the way that the rooming assignments are broken down. I would love to say that we've tried to be very diligent with being able to provide as much FaceTime opportunity with your your audience, so to speak. Nicole, are you there?
Yeah, I have tried. Ooh, is it
You're there.
working?
Yeah,
Okay,
we can hear you.
sorry. I have done my best. I'm working right now actually on groups, and I'm doing my best to keep people with their people.
No,
Right.
thanks. Yeah, I was just curious, and if you need me, where I'll go wherever. I just was curious if this year you're gonna kind of keep high schooler counselors with high schoolers and middle school counselors with middle schoolers, or it's gonna be mixed based on the need.
Yeah,
It
In a
sounds like it's
perfect
gonna be
situation,
mixed.
Steve. Yeah, in a perfect situation, I think we would. But we're not necessarily in a perfect situation with the number of adult leaders going from the standpoint of being able to have the luxury to move people around that way. So, but we are doing everything that we can to maximize that FaceTime, knowing that ministry happens 24/7 at camp. And you may have a conversation with a kid at 10:45 at night, and that may be the spiritual revelation for the week for that student. So we're trying to do the best we can.
Yeah. I would also say that I would assume if you, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but my assumption would be that if you are leading high school students, that during those times at the pool and at rec, you would be with whatever space that high school is in, correct?
Yes, that's a fair statement. If you're involved with high school as far as family group time, then you'll go with them during the rec time / pool time. Yes.
Right. And if you are an adult leader rooming with high school students, you will be going to the high school late night as well.
Yep. That's fair.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that yeah, we touched on that.
All right, thanks.
Matt,
Yes.
Matt, so the family group / small group, that's the same thing. And how many students? My understanding is that's the same thing. And how many students are in each group?
Nicole's
Well,
got the answer already. She sent me a text. Nicole, can you remind us what that is?
I
Thank you.
can. So I'm working on it right now. It looks like given there not be any more sign up leader wise, that girl groups will have about 15 in their small group and guy groups will have 14.
right. And this is all subject to change if we have more.
Correct. Which, by the way, we're going to have a few more students sign up today once I get done making phone calls. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And tell your friends to sign up as leaders.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I will say, that being said, I think 14 or 15 in a small group, actually, I'm super excited about that because we have had small groups at Collide Weekend where we've had 30 to 40 students in a
That's
particular group. And I know Todd's on the call here. Todd, you can speak to this for Clearwater Middle School boys, where we've had 7th and 8th grade boys with 40 to 45 students in a group on a Wednesday night. So 14 or 15 in a group is amazing.
15 sounds great.
Praying for 15. Yeah. That's great. That's awesome. Anybody else got any questions? If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I think we've done a good job of setting the scene, touching on some high level things from a very wide angle lens, if you will. The details you'll find out some in the moment as you're working through it. and as you're working it out. But I'm really excited for camp this year. Really excited to hang out with you guys and minister alongside you guys for the week. And let's just keep our minds and our hearts open towards the way that God's leading us this week. All right, you guys good?
Gucci.
Wait, what is that? How
You
is
put
that?
your thumbs up and you get fireworks.
No.
Yeah.
What kind of
Thumbs up fireworks, baby.
Dude, what kind of setting you got in this thing, dude? This is sick. All right, y'all.
AI.
Well, thank you. And I'll be sending this stuff out probably early this upcoming week. Make sure you're looking over the curriculum as well, and just preparing for those group times. Okay. By the way, on that, going back to that last thing, we'll give you I believe the plan and what we've done in the past is to have a printed binder with those things in it. I could be wrong on that, but I think that that's a wise move for us to do, so you can have the binder on hand, the leader binder for the week, so you can know who's in your group, et cetera, et cetera. Does that make sense? And you also have the stuff printed out in there. Don't want to speak too soon. And if you weren't planning on that, Tom, I'll take that job on myself and do that.
No, that's good. I think that's super important
Okay.
to that. So yes, because some people like digital, some people like printed copies, some people like 8.5 by 11 and not the little 4 by 6 or the 5 by 8. So it gives you margin, which I think is a good thing.
Yep.
I do
All
have
right.
one thing
Those-
to add real quick before we hang up. I know that Matt was talking about rooming and everything, just so everybody knows, like 99.9% of the girls going are actually going to be in the bunkhouses. So
Sorry, I
there
messed up.
are, it's okay. It was going to be that way. And then just some lodging questions of like sneaking out and that kind of stuff. And so peace of mind was, let's put all the girls in one spot and then the guys with some handicap accessibility and stuff like that. It just worked out this way to be able to put all of the high school guys are in the motel, and there's
Yeah,
here and there
that's fine. That's fine.
we've got it scattered in. So yeah. So good.
Yeah, I think, and this is our first year going, so I think it'll be a learning process. But with some of the logistical challenges we've got with some students coming, which by the way is an amazing thing to think about, not singling anybody out, but that plus the peace of mind on being able to do things well. We're doing the best we can. So I think Matt's already mentioned this a couple times. I will just ask for a spirit of fluidity and grace from everybody, and know that we are doing everything we can to make this literally the best week of the year for our students and also for you guys as our adult leaders.
All right, y'all. What happens if I give the peace sign?
Nothing. Do thumbs up again.
Oh,
you get
balloons.
balloons.
Let's go. All right, y'all. We'll see ya. Have a good one.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Matt.
Matt.
Hey,
See ya.
thank you.
All right, see ya.
See you guys.